Hey, it's Mocha the Cap. Born January 14th, not mixed with Sagittarius, and damn sure not mixed with Aquarius. I know I took a couple weeks off, but I was just trying to build the anticipation for the book review that we're doing on Karrine Steffans, the Vixen Manual. Today we're going to do chapter 3, and I really just want to jump right on into it. I don't want to waste no time because we got plenty of chapters in this book. I'm on chapter 3, and I just seen chapter 45, so yeah, we need to go on and get to it. Depending on how short some of the chapters are, I might go ahead and read more than one. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. The drink for tonight is going to be Parmesan. Y'all know that's a classic. I got my shot glass right here. I just want to go ahead and do the video so I can go ahead and lay down after this. I don't know. I might do a rant if I don't have anything else coming on after I read this chapter. But I do want to do a rant on Virgo men. So we'll get into that afterwards. So let me just go ahead and start. Matter of fact, I got a text real quick. Let me respond to this text so we can get into what we're getting into. All right. Chapter 3, Falling in Love, Part 2. So you've mastered the new dating game and you're being courted left and right. Great. But hold on, Vixen, you say. Not so fast. I've hit a snoof. Both your number 1 and your number 2 have stolen your heart, and you don't know whom to choose. You can't. You won't. Damn it. Each of these choice men brings something so unique to your life and your love. Each of these choice men brings something so unique to your life, and you love them both so differently, but so completely that you couldn't bear to let one of them go. We all know that this will not end well. At least 2 hearts stand to be broken in this scenario. Yours and one of theirs. If things go really badly, all 3 of you lose. Eventually, after all that dating and numbering and ranking and carrying on has reached its saturation level, you will have to decide which suitor fits you best. Determining which one is good for a lifetime versus which one is only good for, well, a good time may not be such an easy decision to make. How will you decide? From my experience, the decision, though not an easy one to make, is really quite cut and dried. After dating several men for an extended period of time, the man you choose to share your life with should be the one who loves you and cares for you and about you, not regardless of who you are and have been, but because of it. Let me read that again. After dating several men for an extended period of time, the man you choose to share your life with should be the one who loves you and cares for you and about you, not regardless of who you are and have been, but because of it. Whoo, that's deep. The man for you brings you chicken soup when you're sick, throws your used tissues away without flinching, and curls up next to you at night, unconcerned with his own health. He is the man who loves the children that are not biologically his. He loves whoever you love and defends your honor, no matter the consequence. Your dogs, your bird, your mother, and your quirky drunk uncle. If you love them, he loves them and makes them his own. In traditional marriage vows, we promise to love and support one another, whether rich or poor, in sickness or in health, but most of us never take the time to imagine the poor and sickly. Part of that promise. Those days are just as possible as the rich and healthy ones. The man you choose should be able to imagine those days, and even further, imagine sharing them with you, being a pillar and a source of strength and resolve, and you should be able to do the same. Substantially, long-term relationships are built on times of trouble and lean, not just a flourish. Any couple can flourish when they are unchallenged. Any guy can be expected to stay when times are always good. Not every man listed on your dance card will be able to supply that need, the stick-it-to-itiveness. That's required of a long-term trusting relationship. You may have to go through several versions of your dance card before finding the right man who can. Once you have made this decision once you have made this decision and are sure you've chosen the right man, you may still find your heart attached to another. Maybe it's the funny guy who made you laugh until your stomach hurt, or the spontaneous guy who swept you off your feet with surprise picnics at the beach. Every man has something to offer, and each relationship has the potential to teach you something about life, love, and yourself. Enjoy these experiences, but at the end of the day, really put into perspective which one will love you at your worst and celebrate you at your best. Love alone cannot be all there is. Love is an emotion. No matter how genuine, it's incomplete without love as an action. There may be days when you wonder if you made the right decision, and moments when you'll swear you're ready to walk out the door and go back to an ex. There may be days when you actually do. Before you make your final decision, however, ask yourself these questions listed in the Vixen tip below. Vixen tip. These are the love of your life requirements. Does he love your children? Does he love and accept everything about you, past and present? Is he proud of and not threatened by your accomplishments? Does he motivate you to be better versus tearing you down? Does he have a strong sense of spirituality? How does he interact with his family, especially his mother? Is his social circle and lifestyle conducive with your own? Do you share the same or similar goals and life strategies? It's always easy to imagine smooth sailing when thinking about an ex. You'll only remember the good times, not the reason an ex is your ex. Trust me, there is a reason he's your ex. And the moment you go back with him, if you dare to go that far, you'll remember it. If you found a man who loves and cares for you in every way, it's unrealistic to expect that there won't be challenges. Work through them. That's the only way you and he will build a strong foundation on which you'll be able to withstand future issues as they arise. It's easy to run into the arms of someone from your past, but you'll never grow if you indulge in this practice. Trust that you have chosen the right man for you and then commit to that decision. If he is willing to be there for you, you should be there for him. I have to read this part again. Trust that you have chosen the right man for you and then commit to that decision. If he is willing to be there for you, you should be there for him. No man wants to be in constant dread that the woman he loves will run back in the arms of another suitor. A suitor he once competed against for your affections. You owe your man more than that. You owe it to yourself to learn how to weather the realistic changes of love. That, ladies, is a mistake I know all too well. Once, through all my own misjudgments and insecurities, I almost lost one of the most endearing and fulfilling relationships in my life. I was so afraid to make a commitment and move forward in that commitment that I continuously found myself reaching back to my past and to one lover in particular. There I was, juggling them both, calling this one, calling that one, professing love for one and love for the other. What a mess I had gotten myself into, sneaking off to one, lying to them both. One was a superstar with all the perks that come with being a high-profile celebrity. There were many tangible goods at my disposal, but very little comfort and emotional security. It's not as if my other choice was a pauper or any less than a man, but what he lacked in monetary currency, he more than made up for emotional wealth. I had to make a choice, and I had it to be the right one. I had to make a choice, and it had to be the right one. If you have to weigh your options, and the best man won't always be the one the rest of the world would expect or approve of. Let me read it again. You have to weigh your options, and the best man won't always be the one the rest of the world would expect or approve of. He's the one who loves you unconditionally and at times more than himself. All right, we're at the recap. That was a short chapter. It's only 10 minutes. I might go on to the next chapter, but let's do the recap and see how many minutes I waste on that. Okay, so recap. You will have to decide which suitor fits you best. I'm not going to lie. This chapter here, I don't know if it's because what got going on in my life right now, but it really is ringing home to me. And I have fell back in love with Karrine. Because the first 2 chapters weren't really, it was points she was making that I didn't agree with, but in this chapter completely, she really has touched me and she really has understood me as a person, and she's really broken it down to me like a big sister would by telling me like, look, don't do this, do this. You know, you're going to have to decide at one point or another in your life, and it's just true. It's just true. So that I completely agree with. You may have to go through several versions of your dance card before finding the right one. That's the one I was trying to get to. When I told you guys in the last video, like, look, I don't try to date a lot of guys. You know what I mean? I don't try to do that. Once I'm not feeling one guy that I call myself actually trying to give a chance and opportunity to, if he messes it up, I just move on and I go. And I know that some people feel like, well, your time is running. For me, I'm sorry. And I hate, maybe I'm being that black woman that feels like she's an exception to the rule. But I do. I feel like I'm the exception to the rule. I was like, I'll find it. And if I don't find it, I'm going to be okay with that too. You know, my dream or my fantasy is to, you know, have a guy that I want to be with and love and be married and, you know, have our kids and dogs. And, you know, who doesn't want that? That's what you always seen. But even though it's what I've seen, it's still something that I want. And it's not because I've seen it. It's really what I genuinely want. I want romance. I want love. I want commitment. You know, I want to have somebody that's like my best friend who, at the end of the day, it's me and them. It's about me and them. Like, why not? Who doesn't want, you know, if you don't want that, that's fine too. Some people just don't see the benefit of it. But for me, it's a yeah. So anyways, next, love is an emotion, no matter how genuine, is incomplete without love as an action. Hold on, what? Love as an emotion, no matter how genuine, is incomplete without love as an action. Oh, yes it is. I watch a lot of relationship coaches because when it comes to my relationship, I want to do it right. If I'm going to be serious and if I'm going to commit, then I want to do it right. So yes, I feel that completely. I feel like I have to show you through my actions that I'm here for you. And as a Capricorn, I'm going to show you through my actions by being there for you. When you tell me something is going on, I want to be that person that saves the day. I want to be the person that you're like, that's my baby. She was there for me. She was there for me. Like, that's what makes me proud. I don't know what love language is. I guess it's affirmation. Not even just affirmation, because I want my gifts too. So my love language is gifts and affirmations, just in case you want to read. Gifts for sure. Gifts first, then the affirmations later. I can do the gifts first. I'll be like, ooh, a gift. And then the affirmation, you'd be like, baby, you're this, that. I'll be like, oh, you get me. So I need my gifts. Don't play with me. Sorry, that's my other side. But okay, she's right. Love without action is not love. Like, I'm dealing with situations and I see people every day and it's like they say one thing and they do another, you know, and that goes for all things. That's family, friends, lovers, co-workers, you know, it's all across the board. People say one thing and they do another. That's just the truth. Okay. The last recap is trust that you have chosen the right man for you, then commit to that decision. I knew she was gonna put that in there. Then I have to read that sentence again because it's a real sentence. That's if we're gonna be 100% honest, ladies, and whoever is reading this or looking at this with me and reading along. That's the biggest problem I see these days is people saying one thing but not committing to it and following through. That's the thing I'm having an issue with. I have an issue with that. When are we gonna actually commit and do the things that we say we're gonna do? It's not all just talking and, no. And see, Capricorn, we don't even get down like that. Like, if you're going to talk about something, then you better be about it. Because when the time passes, we like, and that makes us feel like you're not reliable. And, everybody knows a Capricorn needs security. So if you're not reliable, baby, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. We need security, baby. So get it together. Get it together. So like she said, trust that you have chosen the right man and then commit to that decision. Let's commit. If you really want to deal with this dude. And that's something that I'm working on right now myself. I'm really trying to just be committed to one person. And I find myself, I'm not going to lie to you guys, sometimes I slip up and I hit up one of my exes. Like she said in the book, like I'm hitting them up like, what you doing? Don't do that. We have to close the legs and protect the puss. I read something earlier. Oh my God, what was that quote? It was so good. It said basically, and I'm not quoting it word for word, but it was basically saying that women protect their money more than they protect their bodies. And I 100% agreed. I was like, you know what? They're on to something. We are like, y'all might not keep it real with yourself. I'm gonna keep it real with myself. I have sometimes felt like I protected my money more than I protected my body, and our bodies are not for sale. But I don't want to be that channel. Not yet. I can, but I don't want to be that channel. I just want to read this book. So let's get back into the book. So I'm gonna read one more chapter, and then I'm gonna head on out. Chapter 4. I gave y'all 2 chapters since I was gone. Casual sex. Casual sex. It's not good, but we do it. Let's see what she have to say about it. One day several years ago, I was on my way home from a long night out. As the sun rose over the city, I anxiously awaited for what felt like the longest red light in the world to turn green. While waiting, I noticed something unusual out of the corner of my eye. It was a cardboard box rocking back and forth. Upon closer inspection, I could see 4 feet sticking out from the box, which apparently one housed a refrigerator. 2 shopping carts filled with cans were in the driveway alongside the cardboard house. It took me a few minutes to realize it, but I was looking at 2 homeless people having sex in a cardboard box on one of the busiest street corners in Los Angeles. Ugh. That nasty. That done, I learned a very important lesson. Sex is the easiest thing to get in the world. You don't even have to have a home, a bed, or a place to shower. Anyone can have it anytime, anywhere. Ooh, girl, you better. She's saying something. Y'all better listen. She said on the side, Vixen say what? There is nothing casual about sex. Easy, yes, but not casual. From that day forward, I thought differently about sex, especially that of the casual variety. Nothing that easy can be worth having. As human beings, we tend to value that which requires a certain level of investment, whether it be sweat, equity, our time, emotions, or our hard-earned money. Things easily had are often easily discarded, as we feel we can effortlessly attain them again. I like a challenge and typically enjoy doing things most people aren't doing. After my epiphany that morning at the traffic light, I knew without question that I didn't want to be a member of the Bums in a Box Club. I know that's right. Let me finish. I began to think about everything that comes with sex without commitment. I pondered how things have changed between the sexes. How not only can today's liberated women supposedly do anything the boys can do, but do it better and with just as much emotional disconnect. I thought about it long and hard and came to the conclusion that the theory of us handling sex as casual as men is all a bunch of crap. I agree. Casual sex comes with an enormous amount of baggage. And I don't mean the adorable vintage Louis Vuitton trunk set type. It's more the free duffel bag with purchase they burden you with at department stores just because you bought a lipstick. You end up stuck with an unstylish piece of luggage that makes you look bad, and pretty soon it's full of holes. Being a woman who has had more than my share of casual sex and all the subsequent pitfalls, headaches, and ridiculously negative consequences, I am a believer that casual sex requires too much energy for so little return. Every time I found myself with a homie lover friend, I found myself alone at the end of the emotional toll was never worth the physical ecstasy. Never. I began to look around during holidays and birthdays, good times and bad, and there I would be alone, unless I was being the good time girl, the casual sex recipient, the jump off, the home girl. No matter what name we gave it, no matter how close the friendships, the sex was always meaningless and the consequences were always dire. I was never a life partner, never a wife. I needed more. Damn it, I deserved more. Sometimes we feel we have to have sex like men in order to be perceived as a sexual astute. We pretend as if having a man crawl on top of us and shoving himself inside of our bodies, panting and sweating without much focus on any further intimacy other than our bodies connecting is no big deal. It is. The sexual act is an invasive process. Our bodies don't just touch a man's when we copulate. We actually take them in. Everything about men becomes a part of us as they move around inside our most private personal space. It's a huge deal, ladies, and if we acted it as if it were a huge deal, there would be no talk of having sex like a man. There would just be sex, pure and simple, between two conscious, consenting human beings. Here's her Vixen tip. Don't be afraid to be a lady and to take an old-fashioned approach to dating and sex. If no one has ever taught you old-fashioned ways, talk to an elder lady about the way things used to be. Ask questions of your grandmothers and even of your grandfathers. Watch old movies as an affair to remember, 1957, Breakfast at Tiffany's, 1961, How to Marry a Millionaire, 1953, Carmen Jones, 1954, and Gone with the Wind, 1939. Those are some good movies. Some of them I never watched. Learn from women with grace and dignity. Like Jacqueline Kennedy, Onassis, and Coretta Scott King. These films and people are studies of the way ladies were represented themselves and were treated. Don't be intimidated by today's diminished standards, and don't start believing you can't be as refined as a woman in earlier generations. Proper posturing, appropriate language, coyness, and restraint are traits we should all stand to inherit. Then allow those old but new gentler habits to seep into your ideas about sex. When you present yourself as a lady, you will be treated as such. And ladies don't go around just giving it up. A lady makes a man work, and work damn hard, for every morsel of affection and attention. I added that in there. Anyone who has ever taken Anatomy 101 or knows how men and women are physically constructed understands that the act of copulation is internal for women and external for men. Think of it like this. It's impossible for a woman to be emotionally disengaged once she has sex with a man for the simple reason that he enters her body and literally lays among her organs, the very instruments that keep her alive and give her the gift of life. This is personal, extremely personal. There's no disconnecting from something that intrusive, no matter how much you try to convince yourself you can. When a woman's internal organs are injured from something that goes horribly awry during or as a result of sex, her ability to procreate can be ruined altogether. The primary male sexual organ, the penis, is on the outside of his body, and while it may endure its share of bumps and bruises, a reckless swatting of the penis doesn't have to mean a man can't father children anymore. Ladies, this sex thing is serious business. Once you've been someone's casual sex partner for an extended period of time, one of you inevitably once you've Once you've been someone's casual sex partner for an extended period of time, one of you inevitably, oh, I know y'all gonna get on me for this. I'm sorry. Inevitably, and I'm trying to say it too. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me just move on because I know y'all gonna get on me for that one. One of you begins to crave more. It's a natural progression, inevitably. I'm sorry, I can't get over that. I have to say that, inevitably. Oh my God, I cannot say it now. It's messing with me. It's a natural progression that occurs when the two same repeatedly intermingle with each other. But let's say that you've already set your standards and demands extremely low. Suppose you begin a relationship on a sexual basis only, agreeing with someone that sex and sex alone would be enough and you wouldn't require more than just a physical connection. But now things have changed for you. You become emotionally invested. You actually like this guy, maybe even love him. To tell you to expect things will now change in your favor. To tell you to expect things will now change in your favor would be lying. We all know it doesn't work like this. It's difficult to talk a man into being your life partner after months or years of non-committal sex. You'll be accused of trying to change the game in the ninth inning, and men generally do not respond well to this. There is a way to prevent this. If we were, look at me, I'm like, oh, for real? How you do it? if we were just more honest with ourselves from the very beginning and not so adamant on playing by the man's rules, things could be different. We should choose to introduce our own rules instead of bending to those that don't come natural to us. You shouldn't be afraid of what it means to be a woman, and part of that means understanding that we are wired to feel an emotional connection with a sexual partner, especially one who makes a repeat appearance. If more of us were upfront about this basic sexual truth, we stand a much better chance of finding more long-term meaningful relationships. Men seem to be more effective at compartmentalizing than women. They generally have more success than we do at putting things and people in priority and in perspective. When a woman settles for casual sex, she places herself very low on a man's list of priorities, or he will treat her accordingly. He won't understand her ranting about needing more of his time. He will become confused about where such intense feelings are coming from, especially if both parties agree from the beginning that their relationship was just about sex and nothing more. You can't blame the man for this. Once the terms were set, the terms were set. This is why you shouldn't accept this kind of situation at all, not if you're actively seeking a fulfilling relationship. There's no tricking the man down the road, no winning him over to your side of things. A situation like this usually ends badly with the woman feeling demoralized and hurt because the man wanted nothing more than the use of her body, and with him resenting her for trying to switch what he believed was an honest, straightforward situation. Don't settle, ladies. It will only work against you. When a woman ups and ants and demands more of herself and a potential partner, the odds of getting what she wants increases exponentially. It increases. Aside from the emotional baggage a woman can carry around with her life, there can be serious physical repercussions related to casual sex. Aside from the inconvenient and embarrassing itch of the crabs, hold on, we went a whole nother way. Did I? Yeah, it did. It went there. Okay, let's read that. Aside from the inconvenient and embarrassing itch of the crabs, the blistering discomfort of genital warts, or a lifelong relationship with herpes, you can flat out die after contracting AIDS. There's no airborne, that over-the-counter product developed by a school teacher for staving off the flu, and that you can take to ward off these things. The ideal way to protect yourself is to employ good judgment, doing what is best for you in the long run. Let's be even more blunt about this, just to make sure you're getting it. Having too much casual sex can result in a woman becoming worn out, and I'm talking literally. In this particular instance, have you ever seen a woman you can tell has been physically run through? Everything about her appears to be spent. Her face seems beaten and weathered. Her body has begun to give into gravity because of what's happening when it's subjected to too much wear and tear without sufficient preventative maintenance. And let's not even talk about what sex does to your nether regions. Don't lie, ladies. We all know what that porn pussy looks like. The lips are particularly hanging out of the panties of these women. The labia majora and labia gigantia. You don't want that, do you? Because the more casual, uncommitted, random sex for sex sake sex you have, the more beleaguered you and your genitalia will become. Why do you think the very lucrative market for vaginal how the lucrative market for vaginal rejuvenation, I'm so sorry, I cannot read tonight, has emerged? Way too many women have been having too much casual sex. I'm sorry, that is so true. She hitting it on the nail tonight. She said, I'm gonna knock the first and the second chapter out, and I'm finna hit y'all with the real facts now that I got y'all. Cause boy, additionally, there's the possibility of gaining a reputation that can follow you your entire life. This doesn't mean just among men, but among women. No one wants to be the person in the room that people fall into hushed whispers about. It doesn't feel good. And yes, girls will always talk about girls. That's our nature. We can sometimes be very vicious and heartless in the way we do it. Men can be even worse, however, with their locker room mentality, when they high-five each other for having been with certain women, gaining and building camaraderie on the common ground of how they sexed you, describing how you performed and what your genitalia look like. Ooh, I hate these motherfuckers. I ain't never had that problem, but I'm just saying I can't. I'm sorry, she have a little picture here. She said, I can't show. She said, do you have porn pussy? Oh, I had to look. I'm like, thank God. Nah, my lips ain't hanging though. They're not hanging. Especially when they get fat. Anyways, when you're the woman guys like bragging about having been with, you can never be comfortable about why men approach you. It is because they want to know the real you are, because they want to see what everyone else has seen and be able to prove it to others while adding a notch to their bedposts. Men are notorious for acting. I'm sorry. I know I said I was going to talk to the end, but she's so right. I never been through that, but I've heard men, and some men, they'll just want to have sex with you just because they want to be able to talk about with the boys, what the same thing about them being with you. And that's not cool. I've heard guys do that. Like, it mainly happened when we were in high school and stuff, but I wouldn't be opposed that if a person stayed in a certain neighborhood around, a bunch of dudes, they probably would do the same thing. But that's crazy. Anyways, back to what I was saying. She said, trust me, they know. Not only do they know, they want to see it for themselves. This is the collateral damage that casual sex begets. Having a reputation is a hard stain to remove. She admitting it. She admitting it to you guys. After everything she did, she admitting to you that what she did was wrong. And I respect that. Because I really wanted her, when I was reading the book, I was like, is she going to tell the truth about that? Or is she going to make it seem like do what you do? No, she just let you know it's having a reputation is a hard stain to remove. No matter how you try to leave it behind or rise above it, there's always someone who remembers and wants to bring it up. In these times where everything is on the internet, someone will Google it if it's out there. Remember, girlfriends, you are responsible for your actions. They will follow you all of your life. You can spare yourself from traveling down the road of humiliation by treating your body as a precious cargo with respect and not giving away sex as if it's meaningless. You shouldn't be afraid of abstaining from sex until you found a man you will feel certain will give you what you want and need. If those wants and needs come from a place of maturity, it's okay to wait. There's nothing wrong with a sexual fast. When you have sex, especially with multiple partners who have nothing more than a superficial connection to you, you take on the energies of those people, both negative and positive. We as women are receptacles for that because of how we're built and how we're socialized to be the more outwardly emotional sex. By giving yourself a period of rest, you allow your body, soul, and mind a chance to cleanse, just as if you would during a food fast. The you that will emerge will feel lighter and much more in control. Any wise man or woman will tell you, there's nothing sexier than a woman who can have sex but won't. I wouldn't tell you this if I wasn't sure if it was highly effective, but I know it is because I've done it. having enjoyed celibacy for 9 months at a time. It was the most cleansing, clarifying period of my 20s, at a stage when my toxic relationships with men were clouding my judgment and blocking my blessings. When I say blessings, I mean those beautiful, unexpected things that happen along the way. The moments and events that change your life for the better and open your eyes to all life has to offer. Sometimes, and I think you can feel me on this, certain types of men tend to get in the way. These types with the charisma and machoism, their nonsense and their bullshit tend to override what's really important and impede us from taking care of ourselves and doing what's right for us in the long run. During my 9-month dick desperation, my goals became clearer and my 5-year plan was devised. Between the ages of 25 and 30, I was determined to utilize associates and media to help draw attention to myself in order to obtain my first publishing contract. I will become a best-selling author, jumpstart a new career, and making enough money to buy my first home. Also included in my 5-year plan was the intention to begin saving for my retirement and my son's education. For that brief moment in time, I was saving all my love for me and treating myself with the same care and consideration I would have usually given undeserving male or a casual sex partner. Instead of looking for a man to make me whole, I was working hard at becoming self-contained and content so that when the right man came along, he would find a complete woman, not a woman looking to be completed. That's right. Now we're doing the recap. She said, number 1, sex is the easiest thing in the world to get, but nothing that easy can be worth having. I agree. Hold it in. Just be safe. Everything about men becomes a part of us as they move around inside of our most private personal space. That kind of hit me deep a little bit because sometimes I do look at sex way too casual. And for her to say that, it wasn't that I'm just trying to be like, oh, I agree, but it hit me. It was like, that is deep and that's true. It is. They're inside of you. They're moving around. One thing I wanted to say, she said that that couldn't happen to a man, but it can. And you can injure a man to the point where he can't have kids anymore. So that, we can't say that. But I agree. Again. It's difficult to talk a man into being your life partner after months or years of non-committal sex. I guess you had to speak to me on that one because I do feel that way. And I feel like that's something I have to practice in my personal self because for me, I like to take my time in relationships, but I also feel like there needs to be a commitment as well. Like, let's commit after a month or 2 of good dating, because you should be able to cut everybody off. You should know by then what's going on. I'm sorry, 2 months top. If we're spending every day together and we're hanging out, we're going here, doing this, 2 months is enough for you to say, okay, you know what, let me commit to this and see where this goes. I'm not giving it no 6 and 7, 8, 9 a year. Like, I'm already with somebody or dealing with someone and it's almost been a year and I'm just like, at this point, I don't even take him serious anymore. I'm just like, I'm ready to move around. Number 4, you shouldn't be afraid of what it means to be a woman. And part of that means understanding that we are wired to feel an emotional connection with a sexual partner, especially one who makes a repeat appearance. That's back to what I was just saying. Like, if we're seeing each other every day, we're hanging out, we're doing stuff, you should be like, okay, I can see myself being with her for the rest of my life. If you don't see that within a 2-month span, 3 months tops, what are we doing here? If you don't spend every day with me and then say you don't want to be with me, that doesn't make sense. What are we doing? That's a lot of people's problem is like I said, we can move slow once we made the commitment. We can say, okay, now let's get to know each other. But guess what? We're committed to one another. We're not going to be seeing outside people. We're going to be all about us. And if you can't decide that by now, then we're just wasting our time. She said, having a reputation is a hard stain to remove. I know y'all felt me when I talked about that when I read it. It is hard to remove. I don't have a reputation. Thank God. Because I don't get out I do my thing, but it ain't in the same area. No, I don't get down like that. Like if a person be like, "Oh, I know so and so," I be not talking to you no more. Like I'm not talking to you no more. If you take me somewhere where somebody who I used to talk to is there, or I know that neighborhood, I'm not going with you no more. It's too close to comfort. It's a small world. Just remember that. It's a small world. And the last one is, there's nothing sexier than a woman who can have sex but won't. I don't gotta say nothing to that. I don't have to say nothing to that. Do I really have to explain that? He wants sex, but you say you good right now. You good. He want to know, how can he get you not good? How can he get you not good, sis? How can he get you not good, sis? And he have to do that. And I'm not talking about kissing and no. We need some commitment. We need some time. We need some moolah. Don't make me go there. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming to my video again. I appreciate it. It was lit this time. The Parmesan had me lit. You probably already could tell. I had to get my reader skills up tonight. But I appreciate you guys coming to watch my video, though. I'm going to try to come back again next week and read chapter 5. It was lit. I think I want to do a little rant real quick. So I might go live and do a rant. I don't know. Because when I go live, y'all be all in my face and my videos. I'll be like, ooh. But thank you for coming to the video. I appreciate it. Please click like if you like the video. Please leave a comment below just telling me what part of the book that you like the most so far, and are in these 2 chapters that we just read. Press subscribe. Duh, my subscribe's going up. Keep pressing. I'm trying to get to it. Y'all can get me 1,000. Like, I see some people, they be having, come on now, press my subscribe. Like, for real. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping for real. Press subscribe. Like, y'all tripping for real. I don't do this shit for free. Stop it. All right, y'all. Bye.